Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Plasma and I like extra credit. Today I'm pushing the limit even further with an 8x8 piston elevator. We're also going to add a nice little touch to this one. In addition, we're going to be doing something that iSession suggested in the comments of the 5x5 video. What we're going to do is we're going to add a pair of recall buttons. A pair of recall buttons will allow you to bring the elevator up if you're already up, and bring the elevator down if you're already down. This will help for navigation if you've got other elevators or other ways to get up and down. Let's get started. Let's skip the elevator review. If you're brave enough to do this kind of elevator, even though we're going to make it simple, then I think you are ready for it. So as you will probably know by now, this is a piston elevator. So tier 2 is going to be a pair of wings. We're going to have 4 on either side, and that comes up to the 12 blocks maximum we're able to put, and that lets us get 4 pistons. 2 push as many pistons as we can. So on tier 3, we're going to have 16 pistons total. We're going to have a pair of wings on the front that push 6 of them, and we're going to have a pair of arms on the back that have 5 on each. So let's take a look at some of the slime blocks and make it easy to remember and understand. So slime blocks are going to be symmetrical, and we're just going to have rows of 4 like this. So the way to remember these is that you're going to have all of them go straight up except for the middle ones right here, which are going to come all the way forward, and then you're going to have the side ones, which are this one and this one, go outward and inward. So you can see this green slime right here. On the front it comes inward to take this row. And on this one it's green to take this outer row. All the other ones are going to go straight up. You're going to have rainbows on the front outside. You're going to have the ones we just described. The middle ones are going to be coming forward. And then these on either side of the middle ones are just going to have 2 blocks underneath. They're just going to go straight up. And that's how it's going to be on all the back ones. Now, you don't want to accidentally touch here, so make sure you put your extra slime to add it up to 8 right here. But it should be pretty straightforward. You're going to just need to make sure that each of these has 8 blocks. Put a block up in the nook, and there's no surprises, except for the rainbow to make room, to make sure we have somewhere to put these, so that there's not problems. We make this little archway, or rainbow. Other than that, everything's just going to be stick a block on it so that there's 8. If you have to go sideways like this, or the middle ones, then you're going to only want to add one block. Otherwise, you're going to want to add 2 blocks. Okay. And it'll be symmetrical, so you don't really need to remember nearly as much. Let's go through them one last time so you can get a good look at them. Seems straightforward enough? All right. Let's get started. Okay, so to build this, you're going to need 12 observers, 22 each of sticky pistons and slime blocks, and a full stack of each of the honey and slime blocks to put on top as well as your decor. So now that we have our elevator, let's go ahead and put these little wings on. And what these are going to do is they're going to have an observer on each facing forwards, and we're going to have pistons going backwards, and then these are going to go forwards, like so. We're going to have an observer underneath each of the slime blocks. And that's going to do these. And then all you've got to do is the arm blocks. Or you can call them wings. You can call them whatever you want, but we're going to have these tails that go back like this. And we're going to want to put 3 on the tips and then 2 right here. So what we want to do is we want to put an observer underneath each where they're going to go, like so. An observer goes here, an observer goes here. Make sure you remove these. You don't want to have them left over and have things get stuck. If you have more than 12 blocks, it's not going to move, and this uses exactly 12. So we just barely have enough blocks in order to do it. Makes sense? Now let's put on the slime blocks. The slime blocks may seem daunting at first, but they're not too challenging. So what you're going to do is you're going to have all of them go up, straight up to where they're going to go, like so. except for the ones on the sides and the middle ones. So the very middle ones, they are going to come forward a block. Now, if you'll remember, we need to have 8 blocks on each one. So because these have to come forward 1, that's 7. So that's 8 and that's 8. And on these, that's 8 and that's 8. That's 8 and that's 8. Now we can finish our rainbows if we like. That's what I call them. Arches or rainbows. But on the side ones here, we're going to want to come inward on the front ones. But remember, these side ones, this one and this one, they're inward and outward. This one's going to come inward. And because we have to come 1 block in, and that's going to be 7 blocks already. But that makes 8. That makes 8. So these should all be 8, and we should be done. So next, let's add our ones that go outward. These are going to come out like this. Because that's 7 blocks already, we just need to add an 8th one. We just need to add an 8th one. And now you can see it's pretty straightforward to go ahead and just build the other one straight up. So they're going to be like this. You ready? Go up like this. That's 6, so we need to add some blocks. We can put them right here, 7, 8. 7, 8. And for these two you're going to want to put the blocks underneath so that they don't touch on the slime blocks on this one. Because you don't want these to touch right here. You don't want to put any here. So we're going to put them here, and that will be 8. Now let's finish these copies. So this one's very straightforward. It's just 6, then you go 7, 8. And then this one is just 6, so you go 7, 8. They're very straightforward. So that's all there is to it. If you follow along, you've done the whole top of the slime. So now, let's get to testing it. So in order to test it, again, we need to cover each of these all the way over. So I'm going to come up and do that. That's how we're going to stop it until we build the top. So we'll go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more because why not? So now, all you need to test it, there's one adjustment you've got to make. So we're going to prime these like we always do on the bigger ones. And what we need to do is we need to prime these, but the problem is we're going to fire the rainbows twice. So these rainbows are going to come down from where they're supposed to be. So if you're testing it, and this is only going to happen when you test it, once we're done and actually have a bottom button, we're not going to have this problem anymore. But we need to prime these. And now we need to move our rainbow up by 1. Like that. So now we can prime the next layer, which is these on the sides. And there you go. Let's kick it off. If you've been following along, congratulations. You just built an 8x8 elevator, which is a massive accomplishment. But now, obviously, we got to add the decor to it, and we got to add a bottom button to push. So let's start with the bottom. I'll send it back down, and we'll get started. So I've made the bottom trigger very simple for this one. All you need is some redstone dust and a few repeaters and a couple pistons. So what we're going to do, my recommendation is that you place the blocks first underneath these. And then if you run it across like so, you will be done pretty quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to put redstone dust that triggers these. Does that make sense? You want to come out about 4 blocks or so. Give us room to put the touches on these two. So in order to prime these, or in order to put redstone on these, you're going to have to touch them. But you're going to hit them twice, and so they're going to end up back down. You don't want to prime it to test it once you're getting ready to push the button, because then it'll be in a weird state. You want it to be all the way down when we're about to go. And so my suggestion to make your life a little bit easier is to be ready to destroy these and put them back. That way you can do it like this and not have to worry about having any issues. It's very easy to place them facing down when you have the redstone dust to point at. And so, again, we can take these off, and this isn't going to bother that piston. And we will just put them back like that. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to say hi to these. And so to say hi to them, we're going to have a piston like so. And I have designed this to be a bit simpler this time. Instead of having anything to do with more observers on the bottom, we're simply going to put repeaters like this. And I'm going to set these to 3 ticks. And that's all you've got to do. Now let's rig up a button and launch it. So in order to rig up a button, we're going to want to have 7 ticks. You might remember that's something we can do. And you can place stuff in front of this one because remember there's more than 12 blocks, so it can't move. So you can actually do that. And I'm actually going to put this here, and redstone dust will feed into it that way. So there you go. You don't even need these. Now, if you were to count, you're going to be running out of redstone dust by the time you get up here. So my suggestion is what we're going to feed into it is going to be coming from right here. Let's put a button down and see if it works. It works. All right, let's do the top section now. I cut the video so you can have a supply list. This is all you're going to need, about 16 of everything. So you're going to have some block that you want to push and pull to touch it and make it have too many blocks. And then you're going to want to have sticky pistons that push and pull those blocks. Like so. Having bad luck today. There we go. There you have it. So now, quickly as we can, these videos can get a little bit longer because of all the extra work as they get bigger. Try to make it fast for you, for those of you who actually stuck around. Like so. And the same thing on the other side. And make sure when you're placing these down, they're all set to 1 tick. Shouldn't matter, but if you end up having a narrow time difference, there could be problems. There's different ways to do the one down here. We're going to do a little bit faster this time. So I'm actually going to come down like this, and we're going to go across like so. And around here, you're starting to run out of redstone signal, and so if you want to be careful, you can place it like so. I'm going to give us an extra block just so it's a little bit more symmetrical. Alright, fine. I'll make it extra symmetrical. Happy? So now, that's going to cause these to pull back. So if we had a button here, but what we want to do is we want to touch this one to go down. And so what we want to do is we want to put a piston that's going to say hello, and an observer that's going to know that we're supposed to do something. So now we can push, we'll do it like this, and that should work. It should go down now. Does it work? Let's do the top before we test it. This is the scary part, because if you did it wrong, you'll have problems with your top. Let's use crimson blanks for fun. So let's say we wanted to do something like this. I'm just going to keep it very simple. I'm not going to do anything too fancy. Let's say we wanted to do a big X. Well, if we counted our blocks right, and we know what we're doing, we should be happy. And pushing that button should launch it. In practice, you're going to want to have something like this. So does it work? It does. Now you have one fully functioning. So next part we're going to do is we're going to show you how to do an up and down recall button. You ready for that? Let's get started on that final piece. And boom, there's what you need down below to do recall buttons. It's pretty simple. You just need some blocks, a little bit of redstone, some pistons, and then I'm going to show you something that will be helpful with terracotta. But all you need to do, let's say we were up here and we wanted to recall it from up here and say, hey, bring it upstairs. And so what we would do is we'd have a button like so, and then it would fire a piston like so. And the number of ticks it's going to hold doesn't matter because we want it to function just like the button down there. But all you have to, actually I forgot, we need some slime blocks. You need a whole bunch of slime blocks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then you'll see this will push. And what we are going to do is we're going to have 2 spaces, and this is going to come down and power this. And when that happens, it's going to do it again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's not even go 12. We don't even really need to go 12. We just need to come over to here. So let's come over to here. So we need to come over to here. So we're going to have some redstone. And you want it to not be touching it yet. And it's going to touch this redstone. And there we go. That'll do it. That's a recall button. This is just standard vertical transmission for redstone. Let's see if it works. Look at that. We recalled it. But now, what if we're down here and we need to call it from down here? Well, you just do the opposite. Only this one's more simple than that one. So, I didn't set up where my top was. Let's say we want to put the button right here. Maybe you're standing in front of your platform. Maybe you're not wanting to go yet. And so, let's say we had a button right here. So you would have a sticky piston, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you'd already almost be up here. Let's say we wanted to do it to right here. You don't want to get too close to your redstone dust. I mean, you do actually, but what we want to do is we would want this to be powered when this comes up. Do you see a problem with that? There is a problem with it. And the problem is that you're not going to be able to stop it from dragging this block. And so what you want to do is you want to put some terracotta here because terracotta can't be dragged about. So this is going to come up when we push this button, and it's going to cause a recall. Let's not have any weird behavior. That's a loop. You don't want to do that. And so when I push this button, is it going to work? It works. And so if this was where we entered our elevator from, we'd be able to do it from here. Let's actually add another layer of terracotta around it. You can add terracotta around the base of your bottom floor or obsidian. You just need something that the slime blocks can slide past. I think it's a good thing because it encourages creativity on your part. So now, if we had a button here, we can say that, and that'll trigger the top. And we can rig the button that we normally have up like so. So let's say we had a button right here, and this would be our launch button. And it would launch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that'll reach. And then you'd have your button right here. Knew I was forgetting something. That's all it is to it in the world of buttons. Put that button wherever you want. You can put it right here to click on it. You can put it anywhere you want. Oh no, I wasn't ready. Now I want to call it. Now I can call it. So let's wait for it to get down there. Calling. There it comes. That's all I have time for today. Hope you enjoyed watching and hope having a recall button will help you. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.